We are live, baby. That's right. We have a lot of things going on today, man. Nicholas Hoult, we knew he was Lex Luthor, and we knew probably it was because of contracts that he couldn't sign nothing. Well, it looks like he signed it. And James Gunn announced it. He said it. It's done. Nicholas Hoult is indeed Lex Luthor. Speaking of James Gunn, got a lot of flack, man. Why? Well, because he cast his brother in the 9,000th thing. And people are saying, hey, that's nepotism. And he had a response to that. Someone else who had a response to that was Zac Levi. Zac Levi said something about James Gunn casting his brother. Was it an oops, or was it sour grapes, or was it all of the above? I have a special guest on today. It's my buddy John Rocha. And on his show, The Hot Mic, that he does with Jeff Snyder, they had a report kind of following up on a report that came out few months ago, but more so confirming that they're getting closer, that the Mandalorian season 4 is indeed going to be a movie. John and I will discuss why Dave Filoni will not be the one directing that film. The Golden Globes have nominations out, and there's a lot more. There's a lot more that I'm sure we'll find. And we're going to take questions from you guys on this live episode of The Big Thing. So, as always, we're getting closer. Look, I think we'll be at 110,000 subscribers by the end of this week. I'm hoping. I'm crossing my fingers. And we're hoping that you guys can get us to 200,000. We're going to try to get there faster than we got to 100. We got to be part of the conversation. So if you're brand new, hit that subscribe button, comment, like, all that stuff. And Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. It's The Big Thing. It's myself. It's John Rocha. Let's do it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Big Thing. It is Monday, and I'm excited, man. Get to talk shop, talk movies with the one and only from the John Rocha YouTube channel. It is John Rocha. What's up, Outlaw? How are you?
What's up, brother? Thanks for having me. Happy Monday. Happy Monday.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're have a chance to talk. You and I talked over the weekend, and like, man, we should do this more often, because I didn't realize John was available a lot of Mondays. He's kind of obviously has a lot going on with a Hot Mic and Geek Buddies and all that stuff on his channel. But we're like, yeah, listen, I go live every Monday, and if you're around, you should do it. So John's going to try to pop in whenever a Monday arises.
Yeah, I appreciated the invite. And I was like, yeah, let's do something, man. Let's have some fun. And you were gracious enough to say, hey, you got time on Mondays? I'm like, yeah, let's have some fun. It's perfect time. All the stuff happening on the weekend, all the stuff happening that breaks now on Thursday, Friday, and Friday. It's fun to talk about it and hang out with you about it for sure. And listen to what people have to say who watch the show.
Yeah, so that's kind of what we're going to do as well. We're going to hit these topics, the ones I mentioned at the top of the show, obviously, that John and I will discuss. During that time, if you've been joining me on my live streams, you know that you can put in your super chats now, and I will get to every single one of them. I'll make sure we're going to go through all the topics themselves, and then at the end, it's all for you guys. So no matter what you want to talk about, you submit it now, and I will get to it. None will be missed. So make sure you throw them in there now, and we'll get and throughout the show, and we'll make sure that we read them at the end of the episode.
Yeah, don't let me intimidate you to send in money.
Don't do that. Don't do that. If you can
start early on Monday.
No, don't do it. It's Christmas. If you can submit it, do it. If you can't, it's fine. Just throw in comments and likes. No one's gonna break your legs if you don't put in a super chat. So you know what? It's the one thing before we get into our main topic that you and I were texting about yesterday is that I watched Leave the World Behind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, was it Sam Ismail? He did what did he do? The what's the show he did with Mally Ramick? The one that Mr. Robot.
Oh yeah, Mr. Robot. Right. Yeah.
So everybody was kind of buzzing about this. At one point he was rumored for a Star Wars movie or something. I can't remember what it was rumored for. Something. Who wasn't rumored for a Star Wars movie?
Yeah.
Right. But you know me, like Julia Roberts does a 7-Eleven commercial and I'm watching it. Right. So my wife and I turned it on, and I'll tell you, I know you bailed a little early.
At 50, about 15 to 20 minutes into the movie, I was like, I'll come back and revisit this one.
So I didn't bail on that because I was actually intrigued by it. I liked the slow burn of it, and I liked kind of where they were going. But there's two things that I'm like, everybody's seen the dance scene. It's basically Elaine from Seinfeld. I don't know what they had Julia Roberts doing there.
Yeah.
And then there's screaming at deer. That was kind of silly. The ending is not good. The ending is not good.
Oh, it's not. Okay, good.
Nah, the ending's not good.
All right.
The movie's it's a good Netflix movie, is what I'll say. And that's where we are right now, right? It's like you don't have theater movies, you have stream movies, and it's a good Netflix movie, I guess.
For what it is. But it's 2 hours and 20 minutes long. Should a film be 2 hours? I mean, we're getting that's close to some of the it's only 25 minutes away from Endgame and Infinity War. Should a film be this long?
No.
Doing something like this? I don't think so.
No, I mean, look, for when it comes, well, it's a hard one for me to answer because of this. I watch movies with my wife, and it takes us 3 days to watch a movie anyway, so it doesn't matter how long. Right. Because the other night we were watching something, and it was like 9:15, and we both looked at each other and said, "Oh, it's this movie." It was, and we're like, it's fine, but we're exhausted. We're going to sleep.
Right.
And it's just beaten down by the weekend and the work week and the kids and everything too. It's like it takes us a bit to do it. I haven't even finished Poor Things yet. I've been trying for
the Yorgos one,
yeah. I'm not a big fan of his though. So do you like Lobster? Yeah, I don't know. Lobster didn't do it for me.
I
did like The Favorite. That was the one movie I was going to say. I like The Favorite. I don't know what. I mean, we'll talk about Golden Globes, I guess, in a little bit. So maybe not get too far into it. But anyway, Leave the World Behind. It looks like some people are leaving the movie behind, but I mean, I guess it did okay for Netflix, right? You got a big movie star. You got
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Julia Roberts in there, which is you and I are on opposite fences on that one because I'm not the biggest Julia fan. Although I give her credit when she brings it, but we all have that one person. We all have that. You know what? I'm going to watch anything they do.
I lost my speech when I met her. Blah 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 blah.
That's not easy. That's not.
No, it's not. It's not. I don't get intimidated by the celebrity. We've been doing this long enough to like. For some reason, I said it when I posted. I turned into like a 13-year-old kid. I was like, anyway, let's get into some topics that we want to discuss, and we got some good ones. I show you these things that I got. Look at this. Watch this.
Oh, nice.
It's amazing. I love them so much. You have no idea. I don't care if I look 80.
You want to give a plug for that? I would love to get one.
I need to get. Dude, they're fantastic. I can light up my whole backyard with these things.
Holy God,
they're amazing.
That is incredible.
It's amazing. Yeah, the things you get excited about when you get to be older. All right, let's get to this first topic here. All right, finally, guys, Superman Legacy director James Gunn makes it official. Nicholas Hoult is Lex Luthor. This is from our buddy Mark Cassidy, who I just spoke to the other day. I'm going to try to get him on the show on comicbookmovie.com. Superman Legacy director James Gunn has taken to Instagram to officially announce Nicholas Hoult's casting as Lex Luthor in the upcoming DCU reboot. The trades reported that Hoult had landed the role over a week ago, but Gunn, who usually chimes in to confirm any casting news, was silent on social media. In his post accompanying the announcement, the filmmaker explained that he's not only commenting on Hoult's casting because the idea was finalized a couple of days ago. He also said he wanted people to leave him alone about his brother. No, that's not in there. He also promised that the latest take on the iconic DC Comics villain will be different from anything you've seen before, to which he says, yes, finally, I can answer. Nicholas Hoult is Lex Luthor in Superman Legacy, and I couldn't be happier. The Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 director wrote, we went out to dinner last night to celebrate and discuss how we can create a Lex that will be different from anything you've seen before and that you'll never forget. But James, we heard this weeks ago. Why didn't you tell us it was true? Because although we were discussing it, it wasn't final until a couple of days ago, and I didn't want to tell you something that isn't certain. Anyway, here's to Lex and Nicholas, one of my favorite characters in the DCU. Yeah, I mean, this is what we all expected. The deal wasn't done.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
We can't talk about it until the deal is done. We can speculate all we want. We can talk about sources and whatever, but yeah, he's got to wait till they actually sign on the dotted line.
Yeah, now when it's that close, you don't want to screw it up. It's like, yeah, we'll get there. It's been rumored for a bit. This is one of the few casting things that I've been like zeroed in on and was correct, like 3 out of 3. I said that Brosnahan would get it. I said that Corrin Sweat would get it, and I said Hoult would get this.
Yeah,
and I was like, this never happens. I was like, boom, boom, boom. I was like, I'm telling you, that's your cast, and I got it. But I think it's perfect casting. I love it. I'm glad it is finally announced. I just hope that it's not one of those movies, though, John, where it's like every 5 days, it's like, oh, and guess this person's in the movie now.
Well, I mean, I think we're getting there because a lot of people speculate that we're going to get a Supergirl casting at some point soon. They've got to cast the Authority. I mean, look at already the people that are in there. There's so many names that they're not high level names, but certainly names you would know. like what's his Anthony Carrigan there from Barry. He's in there as Metamorpho. So there's quite a lot of names in this one. But I do think I like this, and I speculated on Hot Mic when this was something that I think Jeff talked about it. One of his sources speculating that Hoult was up for this. That I thought maybe he was going in for Luthor because I don't see him as a Superman, and so when he got cast as Luthor, that actually wasn't such a surprise to me. And I wonder if they brought that in and let it leak that he was auditioning for Superman because they didn't want to kind of betray the fact that they were looking at him for Luthor, and they had him reading against Corin Sweat, reading against Rachel, reading against all these people that were in contention for it to see what the chemistry was like. So I'm a fan of this guy. I like him. I thought he was wasted as Beast because he didn't like lead the film and do enough in the films. So I like him as Luthor, man. It's a nice, interesting choice.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that he auditioned for Superman, but I think
you do. Okay.
Yeah, I do. I think, but the thing with him is that I think he's got an edge to him. I think he's got more of that kind of. He can play a little. He's got the darkness into it. He's every one of his characters, even not necessarily if his characters are evil. He's still got he's still got an edge, and I think that that's what Lex needs more so than Superman and David Corn Sweat. And I like the idea that they're staying with tradition is that the Superman is who the hell is this guy? Because that's her Superman should be. Who the hell is this guy? He just has his Christopher Reeve steps on the scene. You're like, who is this guy? It's Superman. Holy moly. Henry Cavill was in some stuff, but he wasn't in anything that you were like, oh, that's Superman. That's when you saw him, you go, that's Superman. He steps in. Same thing. Brandon Routh, anybody who stepped into the Superman suit for the most part, Dean Cain, all these people that stepped into these roles, they were unknown. And I think and the same goes to be for Lex Luthor is pretty much known, right?
Yeah, Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman, Spacey, all these people that were in it, those guys were significantly bigger stars. I mean, I guess Rosenbaum was fairly unknown, but either way, it's someone who's I know that guy, and I think Nicholas Holt's perfect for the role.
Yeah, and I think if you've seen him on The Great, which is one of those fun Hulu movies or Hulu series, he can bring some really interesting villainy to him. And we're just talking about Euros. He was in The Favorite as well, playing a really great rich prick or lord prick that he was doing. And so he has that edge to bring to him. And I like the fact that he's at a certain age. Like the Hackman, Spacey, they're all significantly older than Corn Sweat.
Right.
Hoult looks about the same age. So I think it works in that way as well, that you're seeing this kind of battle amongst the same age bracket, but also in a time when we're questioning so many things in our world again, like we did back in the 70s when Superman was happening for the first time on screen. It's a great thing to see now. You'll have someone like Nicholas Hoult who plays a Lex Luthor, and you might actually like him or see his point of view because he's questioning Superman, questioning what he's doing. I know there was an element of Man of Steel, but they didn't really go enough deeply into it. This could be a nice way to kind of mirror what we saw in Black Panther with Killmonger questioning T'Challa and what he was doing and what T'Chaka had done with Wakanda there, kind of ignoring other countries. So I like that we can have this element where you might actually see some of Lex Luthor's points of views. You may not agree with his methods, and I like that.
Well, I think that in some of the comics, they actually knew each other growing up.
Yes, right.
I think they're probably going to take that element so that we match up closer to age, and so he's more so like knows. They just have more of a history together, and you build them out because they don't even necessarily know if he's going to be the main villain in this. It seems like Maniac or something is supposed to be the villain. So that's what makes me nervous. Like, look, I trust in. I think. And I know that I'm in the minority here, but I think Guardians 3 is the best out of the 3 Guardians. That's my favorite out of the 3.
Okay.
I just think James Gunn is at a really good storytelling pace right now. I think the same thing goes for the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker and everything that he's done there. He's on that role. But so I'm going to trust in the fact that if this is a story he wants to tell, he's going to put all these different people in there that he knows what he's doing. But I do want to see a simplified Superman, especially when I'm getting introduced to him the first time, and a new Lex and everybody else too.
Yeah. Agreed. Strip it down and go back to the basics, and people fall back in love with it for sure.
Yeah. So what about you guys? Do you think he's the right choice? Do you not think he's the right choice? Go ahead and put your comments in there, whether you're watching live, whether you're watching on the replay, please go ahead and do that. Same thing. If you are watching live, I see that the super chats are coming in. Throw in any questions that you want. It could be about this topic, it can be anything in general. So just go ahead and throw that in there. We'll get to it by the end of the show. Don't worry. The other thing I didn't mention, I'll talk to people because on Friday we didn't have a show because I know, John, you do this stuff too, where it's like you're really the only one responsible for your entire business,
Yep.
right? My computer basically was having major problems on for a bit. Like I had people like kind of reaching out to me, really good, nice fans who were like, "Hey, try this, try that, try this," and nothing was really working. It was glitching. There were sound problems, and so Thursday, like in my middle of my like recordings, it would shut down.
Wow.
And, yeah, it was just shutting down completely. And I had to reinstall. Winston stayed here to kind of help me out. And then Friday, I was like, we recorded Capes and Cows, and I lost it. I lost the entire episode. I just lost it completely. So anyway, so one of the people had said what I did when I went on my own, what I did for, and I know you do this as well too. I put the Amazon, I have an Amazon wish list that I put in the studio. I put it in the link for the description. If people want to check it out, they can. But that's basically things to kind of try to improve the studio. But I think I got the computer moving, and we're grooving. So anyway, again, I see the super chats coming in. Thank you guys. All right, let's move to the next topic, and I want to stay with James Gunn here because this is the thing. You talk about casting. It's crazy, right? You talk about casting, and we're going to talk about he cast his brother. He cast his brother, and he did it again, and everybody knew it. I mean, Michael Rooker was also going to be in it. You know he's going to be in it, but this is a little different. You know, you're putting your brother in. He's probably going to put his wife in again too. But there's some Josh Wilding over at Comic Book Movie. He says DC Studios boss James Gunn responds to the nepotism claims as brother Sean Gunn lands third DCU role. He's been in. I didn't realize he's been in the DCU already 3 times.
Suicide Squad. Yeah.
Good Lord. When DC Studios announced its DCU slate, James Gunn and Peter Safran were asked about the possibility of Jason Momoa playing Aquaman and Lobo. Both seemingly made it clear that no actor would play 2 characters in the new DCU. However, Gunn later clarified his position on social media when he explained that the same person could have multiple voice roles. When it came to live action, the rule was generally no. On Friday, the news broke that James's brother, Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad star Sean Gunn, had been cast as DCU's Maxwell Lord. Pedro Pascal played the villain in Wonder Woman 1984, though this interpretation is expected to be more ambiguous rather than a straightforward bad guy. Some quickly said that Sean Gunn's casting was example of nepotism, particularly as he's already been eyed to play Weasel and G.I. Robot in Creature Commandos in the animated series. In a now deleted exchange with a fan, the Superman Legacy director said, "I said very clearly, actors will generally only be playing one character on screen," and said in the same response that voice actors, it's not the same. Sean, Alan Tudyk, Maria Bakalova, Steve Agee, all play multiple roles in Creature Commandos. It doesn't mean they won't play different characters on screen. So what's the need you have, and a handful of those desperately to say, believe I'm lying, that you seem to purposely ignore certain parts of what I said. Gunn's words have been taken out of context, as he was clear in the past about actors getting to play more than one character in animation, yada, yada, yada. Still, with the Creature Commandos expected to appear in live action, that would give Sean more than one on-screen role. Then again, it's not as if anyone is going to mistake G.I. Robot and Maxwell Lord. The main gripe seems to be that Gunn is giving people who is close with roles in the DCU, but not a vast majority of actors from the DCEU. Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck. However, that's the DCU's, it's his prerogative. And Gunn appears to be learning what it's like dealing with a very vocal and incredibly passionate fan base. All right. So, John, let me start with you.
Yeah.
You and I were kind of going back and forth on this with yesterday when you'd sent me this article in general. Yeah. Not the response, but the fact that he did it again. What are your thoughts on all this?
I mean, at the end of the day, look, everything is going to hinge on him. And I think James is playing both sides of the fence here a little bit, and it's getting to be a little frustrating for people, I think, who are, on his side and defending him, because he is kind of moving the goalposts to fit whatever he's doing. Because he said initially, remember that whole video he released where he was talking about everything, and he said, like, it's going to be one actor playing the animated version, voicing the character, and then playing that person live action. And now he's shifting it around a bit. Well, they'll play different characters and there'll be live action if I feel like using them, and we're using the same actors. And the fact you're using the same actors also, to me, is a problem, because you're also removing opportunities from other actors to be able to come in and play roles. So that being said, though, this is his brother, and Sean has certainly knocked it out of the park when he's been asked to play these roles. But this is something else. I mean, Maxwell Lord, and James did a Twitter or a Instagram post about it, and he said, I think it's reductive to call Maxwell Lord a villain. And it's like, no, it's not really reductive. He is a villain for about 90% of his time in the DC universe. He's used his mind powers. He's been controlled by other forces, by androids, robots, all these kinds of things. He's had a lot of stuff go on. And I don't know that necessarily Sean Gunn has that kind of acting ability to play a character like this. Because like this side of Lex Luthor, Maxwell Lord is a massively big villain, villain in the DC universe. So although I don't fault him for casting his brother because it's his brother, I get it. I think this is the one that could blow up in his face, to be honest with you.
See, I don't think it'll blow up in his face, but I do think he's going to get crap for it, and he should.
Yeah, he already is.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I actually push back on the idea of actors that he's cast in the past not using them, because tons of directors do that. Tons of directors do that. Scorsese is famous for it. Tons of people do that. Like putting and not just the De Niro's and DiCaprio's of the world. Like there's other people that'll pop up in these movies all the damn time. But this is turning into me more of a Clint Howard situation than it is, a casting somebody who deserves the role type thing. It's because is it his older brother?
No, it's his younger brother, I believe.
Okay. All right, so his big bro taking care of his little brother, and I get it. James Gunn has always been so honest all the time. I wish that he would just say something like, "Look, guys, this is my brother. I put him in the movie. He's gonna kill it. He's gonna do great, and that's it. He's my brother, and I did it. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna put my wife in it too. Why? Because I can.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's because I can. They're both talented. I don't think Sean Gunn. Like when I see Sean Gunn, I don't go, "Whoa, this guy's awesome." It's like, oh, it's his brother. Because here's the difference. When Michael Rooker shows up in something again, it's Michael Rooker. Okay, great. Michael Rooker's gonna also pop up in like 8 different things somewhere else that's not directed by James Gunn. What else has Sean Gunn been in that James Gunn hasn't directed? He very well might be in a lot of stuff.
Gilmore Girls, that was the big one.
Okay, but recently,
right? No, not much.
He's not in anything. He's only in James Gunn stuff. So it's like if I was Sean Gunn, I'd want to do more stuff outside of what my brother's doing. Like look, I've been in Guardians and I crushed it. I did this stuff. I'm really good in it. I want to do something that you're not doing. I want to do something else. Instead, he's like, because he's not going to get a job at Disney anytime soon.
No. Yeah, I tweeted about that earlier. Like that was the thing about him, is like everyone was slurping on him when he went after Iger at the beginning of the strikes. But notice he didn't say a damn thing about Zaslav when Zaslav was just as bad as Iger with some of the stuff he was pulling. And certainly the pay disparity is just as massive, if not bigger, for Zaslav than it is with Iger. And some people were like, well, he's got to protect his brother. I was like, no, don't stand on principle if you're not going to stand on full principle and call it even across the board.
Don't say a name. Just say the studio.
Exactly. Just say a blanket thing about these studio heads and you'd have been fine. But because he pointed out, and I get why, because Iger did that interview, I get it. But still, there's a thing that it was a little convenient for him not to go after Zaslav. And sure enough, now we know why, because I'm sure James and him have been talking about this for quite some time.
I am trying to get you in the Superman movie. Don't say anything. Go after Iger. We're not doing Guardians 4. Do what you want. Shh.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah. So I don't know. It's like, but the ultimate thing is, do I have a problem with him casting his brother? No, I don't. Because it's like, because it comes down, they said it at the end of the article. He runs DC Studios. He runs it. You want to put your brother in there? Fine. If he casts his brother as Superman, okay, then we have a problem. Right. Some character that I don't really know. I mean, comic book fans really like know him, but I don't. If you didn't tell me in that article that's who Pedro Pascal played, I wouldn't even remember it.
That's fair.
I didn't remember. So if it's gonna like you, because where you know the character, right? So you're like, he's never been like he's always been a villain. And when I read that, I'm like, I don't care. You know what I mean? And most people aren't gonna care. So I don't care that Sean Gunn's in it. And if he wants to cast his brother, fine. I just think that he should say more or less up front, yeah, I cast my brother. What are you gonna do? You're gonna see the movie, you're not gonna see. You're gonna not see the movie because I put my brother in it? Of course not.
Frank Stallone's and everything Sylvester does.
It's true. Frank Stallone is in everything. He's in everything. It's just because it's more high profile stuff now,
right?
And it's because it's Sean Gunn is talented, but he's not that talented. So when he should would he have gotten the role if he wasn't James Gunn's brother? No, he wouldn't have. So but it's fine. I don't mind. Maybe you guys mind out there. Again, I do see all the super chats coming in. I just want to remind people I do not forget about them. I put them in at the end of the show.
Can I throw one more thing in here? I do think this is a positive, though, because the approach that James is taking is mirroring what happened in Justice League International with Maxwell Lord, and that's a good, fun, interesting Maxwell Lord in that whole run. I have all those from J.M. Dematize. They're my favorite run of Justice League. So the fact that he's approaching Maxwell Lord like this actually does excite me. Although I may not be the biggest fan of Sean Gunn getting the role, the approach James is taking is exciting. So, yeah.
All right. Well, good to know. I'm very curious to know what you guys think in there. Put the comments in there. Before we get to our next topic, is we're going to go over those Golden Globe nominations that came out today. And it's usually kind of an indication of what's going to be in the Academy Awards. Before we do all that, I am very excited to talk to you guys about our sponsor today, both Nuts.com and Nutrafol. And I've told about them before, but we're getting toward the holiday season. I mean, Christmas is right around the corner. It's like 2 weeks away. I'm giving you guys holiday ideas. Well, what should I get? What should I get this person? I'm giving it to you. But I already got this from my in-laws. Nuts.com. And then check out Nutrafol. Here they are.
This is the best. Nuts. Get off my nuts. Don't touch my nuts. I love these nuts. I love them. Listen, you ever been to a candy store? You ever been to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory? Probably not the last one, but you can get something close. Check this out, nuts.com. Maybe you can't get to the chocolate factory, but I'll get you close enough. The online version of that is nuts.com. Besides just having a lot of great nuts, they have classic candies. They got butterscotch, they got fudge, and licorice. Cashews, almonds, pecans, pistachios, dried mango, crystallized ginger, dates, jelly beans, jawbreakers, root beer barrels. It goes on and on and on at nuts.com. I was so excited to have them come along. I mean, look at that. That's what I got. That's what I've been eating. That's what I've been chewing on. Yeah, and even that little fat pug that I love so much, he loves it too. Although he can't really eat nuts, but he loves smelling them. Nuts.com is your one-stop shop for freshly roasted nuts, dried fruits, sweets, pantry staples like specialty flours, and much more. They have a wide selection and means that there's something for everyone. At nuts.com, quality, top priority. They roast their nuts and they pop their corn the same day that it ships. They reach you deliciously fresh. Satisfaction is guaranteed, and I can be a testament. Right now, I'm snacking on these because I love these almonds. They're really good. And I know, not ideal when you're telling people about stuff to have food in your face, but I can't stand it to keep them away from me. They're right in front of my face. I have to eat nuts.com. So, again, stay away from my nuts. Get your own nuts. Nuts.com. So listen to this deal. Right now, Nuts.com is offering new customers a free gift with purchase and free shipping on orders for $29 or more at Nuts.com/bigthing. So if you check out all the delicious options at Nuts.com/bigthing, you're going to get a free gift and free shipping if you spend $29 or more. Nuts.com/bigthing. Yes, there are a lot more nuts jokes I could have made. Don't be embarrassed. Don't do it. Listen, did you know that 80% of men will experience hair thinning in their lifetime? It's normal, guys. But it doesn't have to be your fate. You can get ahead of thinning with Nutrafol. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement clinically shown to improve your hair growth, visible thickness, and visible scalp coverage. Nutrafol's hair growth supplements use physician-formulated, natural, science-backed ingredients. Their drug-free, patented technology provides consistent, reliable results without compromising your sexual health. Go to Nutrafol.com/men to take their hair wealth wellness quiz. Identify causes of your thinning hair, and Nutrafol will give you a personalized plan for better hair health through whole body wellness. It works. In a clinical study, 84% of men showed improvement in their hair after 6 months taking Nutrafol men's hair growth supplements. Everybody feels this way as you're getting older. You're like, oh man, am I the only one? Why is this happening to me? This and that. We're in an age now where you can get it helped. You can get it fixed. Take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com/men, but you have to enter that promo code BIGTHING. Find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com/men.
NUTRAFOL.com/men and enter that code big thing. That's Nutrafol.com/men, promo code big thing. All right. Thank you to our friends over at Nutrafol and nuts.com. I'm telling you, man, it's a reason why they've been with us for a bit, because they're good. And another reason, because you keep getting them and they come back because they go, hey, people listen to this knucklehead because they know what I'm talking about when it comes to this stuff, and it helps the show out tremendously. And it's Christmas time. So there's some gifts. If you're able to, Nutrafol and nuts.com. All right. Bringing back the outlaw here. John, you going to get some those nuts.com or what?
Listen, this is hair brought to you by Nutrafol. Are you kidding me? Like I was balding just a few months ago. I took some of that. And look at this. Look at this.
Nutrafol's no joke. Nutrafol's no joke. All right. So we got some stuff that we're going to talk about here with the Golden Globes, man.
Man. Yeah.
Let's do it, because I haven't even, I'll tell you, as I'm watching this, and I know someone just said, did you see the super chats? Yes, I saw the super chat. You put them in there and you ask whatever you want to ask, and I'm going to get to it, I promise. But the Golden Globes, the nominations came out today. I still have not checked them. I don't know what they are, but this is kind of real-time reaction for me. So Dark Horizons, the nominations for the 81st Annual Golden Globes were announced this morning by presenters Cedric the Entertainer and Wilmer Valderrama. On the film front, Barbie was on top with 10 nominations, the second most nominated film in the Globes history, behind only Cabaret. It was followed by Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer with 8, while Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon and Yorgos Lanthimos' Poor Things tied for 7. On the TV front, the final season of Succession dominated with 9 nominations, a new record for a TV series, and a nomination in every category it was eligible for. Only Murders in the Building and The Bear came in next with 5 each, while The Last of Us, Jury Duty, and The Diplomat also scored multiple nominations. All right, so here is a list. Best Motion Picture Drama, Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Past Lives, The Zone of Interest, and Anatomy of a Fall. Best Picture, Musical or Comedy, Barbie, Poor Things, American Fiction, The Holdovers, May, December, Air. Best Director, Motion Picture, Bradley Cooper, Maestro, Greta Gerwig, Barbie, Yorgos for Poor Things, Christopher Nolan, Oppenheimer, Martin Scorsese, Killers of the Flower Moon, and Celine Song, Past Lives. Best Screenplay Motion Picture, Barbie, Poor Things, Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, Past Lives, Anatomy of a Fall. Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture for the Drama, Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer, Leonardo DiCaprio, Killers of the Flower Moon. That's interesting. Coleman Domingo Rustin. I don't even know what that is. I don't know. Do you know what Rustin?
Yeah. It's a
What the hell is that? I don't know what the hell that is. Andrew Scott, all of Us Strangers, and Barry, however you pronounce his last name, who I like a lot, from Saltburn. Keegan. I don't think that's right, Keegan.
Okay.
No, I don't think that's right. I'm telling you, every time I've said it, people
probably Siobhan. It's probably Siobhan.
It's wrong. Best Performance by an Actress in a Motion Picture Drama, Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon, rightfully deserved. Carey Mulligan, Maestro, Sandra Hüller, Anatomy of a Fall, Annette Bening, Naiad, I haven't seen that yet. Greta Lee, Past Lives, and Kaylee Spaney from Priscilla. Best Performance by an Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, Fantasia Barrino, The Color Purple, Jennifer Lawrence, No Hard Feelings.
Yeah.
Wow. Natalie Portman, May, December, Alma Poisty, Fallen Leaves, Margot Robbie, Barbie, Emma Stone, Poor Things. Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, Nicolas Cage, Dream Scenario, Timothée Chalamet for Wonka. Interesting. Matt Damon, Air, Paul Giamatti, The Holdovers, Joaquin Phoenix, Beau is Afraid, Jeffrey Wright, American Fiction. And then let's do Best Supporting Actor, Motion Picture, Willem Dafoe for Poor Things, Robert De Niro, Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr., Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling, Barbie, Charles Melton, May, December, Mark Ruffalo, Poor Things. Best Supporting Actress, Motion Picture, Emily Blunt, Oppenheimer, Daniel Brooks, Color Purple, Jodie Foster, Naiad, Julianne Moore, May, December, Rosamund Pike, Saltburn, and then Divine Joy Randolph, The Holdovers. So we'll go kind of,
okay.
We'll start with keep with film for now. We won't do TV right now, but we'll just kind of, we'll go from the list up. We'll start with Best Supporting Actress on Motion Picture, right?
Yeah.
I thought Emily Blunt was great in Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Daniel Brooks from The Color Purple. I got to finish that movie. I'm only about 20 minutes in, and they a lot of, Fantasia hasn't even showed up yet.
Yeah.
So Jodie Foster, I haven't seen Naiad. Thought Julianne Moore was good. Rosamund Pike, I thought was good, but right now for me, Divine Joy Randolph was incredible in the whole movie. Incredible.
Yeah, it's to me, it's between her and Danielle Brooks, because Danielle Brooks was, once you get past the 20 minutes, she really comes to light as the film goes on, because she's playing the Oprah Winfrey character from the first movie, but seeing her journey, seeing her progression, see how she commands the screen. I know, and Divine Joy has been winning all these previous awards, circles, the Inner Critics Awards.
Has she been winning?
She's been winning, like across the board. But I think Danielle is going to give her a run for her money in the Oscars. But yeah, I mean, it's a great group of actresses.
Yeah, it's a good list. It's a good list.
Yeah,
no surprises really too much. I mean, like I said, I haven't seen Nyad. I heard great things.
Yeah.
Best supporting actor: Willem Dafoe, De Niro, Downey Jr., Gosling, Charles Menton, Ruffalo. This is De Niro in a lock. I mean, Downey in a lock, right?
Downey and Gosling is going to be the battle, dude. People love
Golden Globes. Golden Globes. I can see that. I can see that. Oscar, no way.
Oscar, you think it'll go to Downey? You think it'll go to Downey?
Yeah, for body of work plus a great performance. Yeah. So, and let's see, best performance actor and music. This is always, Golden Globes when they shift it up. There's no world with Timothée Chalamet is going to wind up at the Oscars for Wonka. There's no world.
Yeah.
No. If you combine both of them, Joaquin Phoenix won't show up in there for Beau is Afraid. Jeffrey Wright should, because Jeffrey Wright is. Have you seen that movie yet?
American Fiction. I've seen it twice, dude. I went to 2 screenings for it.
It's one of my favorite movies of the year.
Yeah, 100%.
It's one of my favorite movies of the year. It's great. It might be his best performance like ever.
I think I would argue that's correct. Yes,
he's so good in that movie. That movie is underrated. Nobody knows what it is, and he will be in there. Giamatti will definitely be in there. Might win. Matt Damon, I don't know. I mean, I love that he got nominated. I just don't see him showing up. And I didn't see the Nicolas Cage movie.
Oh, Dream Scenario? He's good in that. The ending of the film isn't great, but everything leading up to the ending is a fun ride. And he's good. And I'm glad he got nominated. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got best performance by actress in a musical comedy. Like, there's no world where Jennifer Lawrence shows up. Natalie Portman will be there. So Fantasia, most likely, from what I heard of her performance, she's great. She'll probably show up in the Oscars for Color Purple. Margot Robbie showing up in the Oscars? I don't know. I mean, Emma Stone's definitely going to be there.
Yeah. People think it's Emma Stone. It seems like what a lot of the critics, our fellow critics, our friends, are saying. It looks like it's going to be her, but I don't know. You never know with the Oscars. It's always an interesting situation. But here, it's a good list of actresses.
Can you tell me in what world is May December a musical or a comedy?
Yeah. This was the thing I tweeted about at like 8 in the morning when I saw it. I was so upset about this because it meant that The Color Purple didn't make the cut. Like, I don't understand how May December is a comedy. Yeah, I just finished it over the weekend, and let me just say, I don't get what all the crazy hype is about. It certainly is a good film, but I don't think it's like a crazy great film, for God's sake.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Like, people are losing their minds over the movie. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I thought performances were good, but yeah, I don't know.
It's a drama, man. It's a drama.
There's no comedy in that movie at all.
No.
It's creepy as hell.
This is The Martian all over again. They're trying to
100%. Well, even more so. It's like a
Martian lit a couple of jokes. Yeah.
It's not supposed to be a comedy.
Right.
If you think it's a comedy, you're warped. Lily Gladstone should be and will be nominated for an Oscar, and she's nominated in the other one. Carey Mulligan, you liked Maestro?
I did like them in Maestro.
Okay.
My issues with Maestro is that I don't think they got the relationship 100% correct, but their performances were incredible. So
okay. Well, best performance by an actor in a motion picture, you got Bradley Cooper for the same. Cillian Murphy will definitely be nominated, if not win. Leonardo DiCaprio being nominated is interesting. He always gets nominated for Golden Globes, though. I don't think he'll get nominated for the Oscar. I thought he was really good, but I don't think it was. I think Lily Gladstone and De Niro outshined him in that movie.
100%. I think he was miscast in the role. He should have stayed playing the Jesse Plemons role. That's the role he should have done.
Yeah.
He doesn't play low class well. Yeah.
I'm on the opposite side of you, though. Like, I really like that movie a lot. But I don't know about him. I mean, again, Golden Globe, sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He won't be nominated. Now, here's the funny thing. I could see them saying that Saltburn was a comedy.
Yes.
And then that's nominated for a drama. So I don't freaking know how they do this.
It's a satirical commentary on rich society. Saltburn.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's not a comedy.
I'm gonna just go up to best director: Bradley Cooper, Gerwig, Yorgos, Christopher Nolan, Martin Scorsese, and Celine Song for Past Lives, which I just watched recently. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I like Past Lives.
I liked it. It's another one though. Thought it was really good. Thought people overhyped it.
Yeah,
Thought it was good though.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I didn't think that the directing necessarily was so. I mean, it was shot really nice, but I don't know if it was. It was more the DP.
Alexander Payne is the snub here, bro. Like
Yes.
the Holdovers.
Yes.
He did a great job directing that
Yeah,
movie.
anyone.
Look,
Yeah,
and I know there's stuff outside and the accusations and all of that, but like for me, I
Oh, I
don't
didn't-
know how much of that is carrying the weight in the vote here, but I thought it was a shame that he wasn't nominated for
Oh, okay.
best director. Yeah.
Wasn't even aware of any of the
Yeah.
allegations. I don't pay attention to that stuff. Best picture, musical or comedy: Barbie, Poor Things, American Fiction, Holdovers, May December, Air. Yeah, I mean, look, I could see. I don't see Air making the cut. Unfortunately, I love that's one of my favorite movies of the year.
Agreed.
I don't see it making the cut. I hope it does. May December probably I would choose Air over May December any day of the week.
Yes.
The Holdovers, American Fiction. Now, what I'm not seeing is Godzilla -1 anywhere. I'm not even kidding, dude. Where is it on? I guess do they do best foreign? They don't do best foreign film, I guess.
I don't think. Well, they should. I would think that they should, but
Godzilla should be everywhere.
yeah.
Godzilla was such a surprise. That movie is just next level stuff. But I mean, there wasn't. I agree with you. I think the biggest snub for me is Alexander Payne's director. It was a very.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another really good movie. The Holdover.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's it. I mean, anything else stand out to you on those particular nominations?
Yeah, no, just the surprise on the direction side with Alexander Payne, and the animated side, which I don't know if you read, but
I didn't read it. No.
it's great to see The Boy and the Hero get nominated. But I was a little surprised that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles didn't get nominated.
Ah, yeah.
And Wish got a nomination because Wish is a middling Disney installment, and I thought,
You remember when I was on your show?
Yeah.
Said I didn't like that trailer. I said it looks average at best, and it looked and like but what's funny about it is I saw my daughter just watched it again. That movie, it lands for children.
100% it lands for children.
6-year-old loves it.
Right.
She loves it. It's like one of her favorite movies. She loves it.
But children aren't voting for these awards. Adults.
100%.
And so to
That's
me,
exactly right.
Ninja Turtles appeals more to that. So
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think that Ninja Turtles accomplished more in animation and looked better than Wish for sure. It's a better animated film than Wish. There's no doubt about it. So, but there's always, and we'll have the same conversation once the Oscars come in. You know, they'll have the same conversation.
Do you think Godzilla will make the cut on Oscars and a foreign film? I don't know if it'll make the cut.
So I said, you know, what's funny is when I did my out of the theater reaction, I said those exact words are what you just said. I said, I don't think it'll make it, but it should. But I'm starting to come around to the fact that it's got a good shot because everybody is making a big stink about this movie. You know, and I even watched our good buddy Alonzo Duralde, right? Alonzo finally went and saw it, and Alonzo was raving about it and said, this might be one of the best movies of the year.
Yep, it's in my top 10.
Dude, it's in my. I don't want to give it away. It's high up on the list for me. I loved this movie. I wasn't even going to see it in the theater.
Yeah,
and for Ed Harrell, who was a long time.
Oh yeah, Ed.
And Ed was like, "You got to see this one in the theater, man. It's a much different Godzilla movie." Because I just figured, like, there's nothing. I'm gonna have fun shoving popcorn in my face when I watch Godzilla and Kong run down the beach like Rocky and Apollo. I say, okay, fine. But I'm not going to take anything away from it. I took away emotion. I took away character. That's how I like to feel when I go to the movies. And I haven't felt that way. Like I felt that way about Air, and I felt that way about Oppenheimer, and I felt that way about Godzilla. Like those are the movies that I really love. Those are like the movies, and I hope that movie gets nominated for best foreign language film. But you know, I don't ever give credit to the people voting.
Yeah, they might be a little snobby on this one for sure. And yeah, I remember I got a bunch of people who reached out to me when it came out over the weekend that it came out that you got to go see it. And I was like, I was like, I did good trailer reactions. It did well on my channel, but then I was like, I'm not sure. And then all those people were DMing me telling me I got to go see it. I went Monday morning to see it in IMAX here in San Diego because they didn't do a screening down here in San Diego. And I was like blown away, brother. Blown away.
I took my 12-year-old to see it for her birthday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And she loved it. We went and we were like, because she didn't know. She was expecting like 1980s bad special effects type stuff. She had never seen a Godzilla movie before in her life.
Yeah.
And I told this is the third time I've told this story, but like we had her watch Jaws, and she loves Jaws, but she wasn't scared. Like when we were kids and we saw Jaws, we were scared out of our minds, right?
Still don't go
scared. She's like, great movie. I just wasn't scared. I go, all right. And I turned over to her while we were watching Godzilla. I said, what was scarier? What's scarier, this or Godzilla? And she goes, like, it was scary. It was and it had a lot of Jaws. It brought the Jaws feel out without trying, in the way that like the 2014 Godzilla tried to be Jaws and failed, in my opinion.
Yeah. When he's destroying that one city, and then what happens in the water with that massive destroyer ship or carrier. Yeah, those are the two moments you're like, holy God.
Yeah. It's insane. So I hope it does. I really do hope it does. Again, questions for you guys. What do you think of the nominations? Are you excited for these? Do you think that it's going to lead into anything in the Oscars? Could you give a shit? Put all of that stuff in the comments for sure, and let me know your thoughts. Again, I see the super chats coming in. We're going to do one or two more stories, and then we'll get to the super chats. So fire them on in, and we'll get to all of them. We'll stay here until they're done.
Yeah.
So
this is your last chance. Send in the money. This is your last chance.
Don't do that. You do not. If you can't do it, then don't do it. No, you don't. We don't yell at the fan.
All right.
All right. So let's go into the next category here, and we're sticking real quick.
Yeah.
Because we kind of went off of this before. Zac Levi pretty much just said something along the lines where he called out James Gunn for casting his brother. I mean, that's the story of it, right? And it's like, I don't know. Even though you and I were just talking about how it's like, yeah, you're going to get called out for it if you do it. This to me just screams sour grapes.
This is very petty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Killian over there at comicbook.com, brother of mine. I love Chris. He's been doing some great interviews. His Wyatt Russell interview from Monarch was great. This interview, I was really surprised he asked this question of Zachary, because he doesn't like to, step on too many toes.
Yeah.
Zachary's response, man, he's like playing with his chain, messing with his hair. You can tell he is giving it all away. And then when he says this line of like, well, I guess if you're the brother of James Gunn, you can get cast in multiple roles in DC. And then he pauses. And the pause is where you saw exactly who this guy is, and the pettiness and anger and frustration and all of this that's going on with him. And he's been sliding off the cliff, man. It's sad to see, dude.
Because if you look at it, this is a guy that carried him. I mean, look, I met him a handful of times, and when I met him back in the day, he was very nice, and he came on the shows and he did stuff too. But again, my perception of it is maybe some of this stuff got to his head, maybe it didn't. I don't know. I didn't like the way they necessarily treated Coy when Coy talked about his experience with him recently, and Coy was doing the panel, and Zach came up to me. He's like, "Oh, anything you got prepared? I'm gonna pretty much take this out on my own." Like he's like, "I got it." And it's just like, yeah, we get it, dude. You used to do a Nerd HQ, but this guy was brought on to do this. And it's like, but either way, what I think happened was that once Zac Levi got Shazam and was starring to be a superhero in this, and the movie did okay. It did good. It got good reviews. The first one got good reviews, and people were excited about it. And he was okay. And it did decent for the budget and all that stuff too. That he said, this is me. I'm gonna be a movie star now. And now he did the Kurt Warner thing, and that didn't go as planned, and did these things. And then the second one ate a big pile of garbage, and he was the worst part of that entire movie.
Yeah.
And then he took it out on The Rock. He took it out on, whatever it was. He had tons of different things that he did. And now this is another thing. He just can't handle the fact that the spotlight is shifting away. It can come back, but it's shifting away.
Yeah, and some of the comments he's made, like he's gone really out there in some of his opinions on things. And then but I mean, I have to temper everything because he also recently lost his father. So there's a lot going on for him emotionally.
I can relate to that.
Right.
I can relate to it.
Of course. I mean, it puts you in such a weird place. It took me 3 years to feel normal again after the loss of my dad. So the fact that he's lost his father and he's got to be thrust in the spotlight, and he's got a film that's crashing and burning. Yeah. And he tried to, in essence, at that Comic-Con in Brazil, like, I think he tried to blackmail James Gunn on stage by saying, like, well, I'm friends with them. I would imagine they'd keep me as Shazam. And it was like, what are you doing? So there's just a number of missteps here all around. And I think this is, a guy who's a little lost and maybe just needs a break away from the spotlight for a couple of years and like go work on yourself, go meditate, go do all these things, and then come on back. People want to love you. You're Chuck. People will want to love you. Just go and relax for a while. Man.
You're hoping so. You're hoping so. All right, let's move on to something else that was brought up on John's show. And that's the Mandalorian on the hot mic. Jeff Snyder. The initial report came out a while ago that they were thinking about turning Mandalorian season 4 into a movie, and then Jeff and John, you can correct me on anything that I get wrong here, but Jeff pretty much heard that it was that this was because initially Jeff was like, I don't know if that's true, and then Jeff started hearing more about it that it indeed is true, and it looks like that the Mandalorian season 4 will be turned into a movie, and not only that, it will be the next movie to go from Lucasfilm, even over the Daisy Ridley Rey movie. So I had kind of sniffed around a little while ago about this particular thing to find out, and I had heard the same thing that potentially was going to be the movie instead of season 4. But the two things that I heard is potentially that it could go before the Rey movie, but then they also hear that the Rey movie is shooting in April. If you look at the release schedule, now they could always change the release schedule, but if you look at the release schedule that's supposed to come out, 2026 in May is supposed to be a Star Wars movie, right? So and then what was also announced was December of 2026 was Filoni's movie,
right?
And that's that big movie. That's not the Mandalorian movie. That's his movie. That's going to be a culmination of all of these shows.
Right.
So one of two things has to happen here. If they're I guess one of three things. Yeah. The first is if you don't do the Rey movie first and you do Mandalorian first, then you'd probably, release schedule have to play into everything. And then 2026 is the end of it. If you keep Filoni's movie is the ending of it all. And then the Rey movie doesn't come out until 2027. So you start shooting in 2024 and it comes out 2027. That doesn't make any sense. The other option is that you move the Filoni movie off of 2026 and you push it into May of 2027 to give you time to film everything, which could be doable. And then the Mandalorian movie comes out first. The Daisy Ridley movie comes out in December. And then Filoni's movie comes out in 2027, gives you more time to put everything out, gives you more time for Ahsoka season 2. Okay, maybe. Option 3, you pull and if you're shooting, things early and you can get it done, these scripts are ready and you can get it out, you get something out by December 2025.
Yeah.
You do that. So where do you stand on all of it?
I have a crazy suspicion that this is the beginning of a Filoni trilogy. And so this is what I think is happening. I think he's going to do this as a season 4 movie, but it's going to lead into his other movie that he was already working on, and that there's going to be a final third movie that's going to be part of this Filoni theatrical film trilogy. Because there's a reason they elevated him just a few weeks ago to this position. They want him to kind of do more hone things, bring it into port, kind of, I don't know, as Kathleen did when she first started, eliminate other things and make it laser focused, one lane, everything's in this lane. This is all canon. And I feel with Filoni coming in this position that he's in, they want him to do that with his stuff, with his characters, with Ahsoka, with Mandalorian, with all these things, Boba Fett, whatever, move them all into one lane. And I think that's where he's going with this. And so they're going, because it's a different time than the Rey movie, and it's a different time than the Mangold movie. So it makes sense if he does the Mandalorian 4 movie. Then you get an idea. Like the Mando movie, if it's good, then you're like, okay, I can't wait for him to go forward with these characters to the next thing. And then that'll be the culmination movie. And then who knows what happens after that to send us and end the trilogy. So that's what I think they're lining up here, because Star Wars loves trilogies, Kristian. You know this. And so 2 films by Filoni, but there's not a third one. It would seem weird to me with these characters.
I love the thought process. There's no world any of that happens. No world. Because first of all, they want to do Ahsoka season 2, and you're gonna give this guy 2 movies that he's never even directed a feature film before. Right. Plus on season 2, his head's gonna pop off his body and roll down a hill. What they're gonna do if they do this Mandalorian movie is what they should do, and a smart move is to say, hey, guy who launched the MCU and took this, hey, Favreau, we need you to direct this movie. it's the Mandalorian movie. We need some firepower for our first movie out the gate to say directed by the guy who launched the MCU, Jon Favreau, the guy who brought you Grogu in the first place, to now take his vision and put it on the big screen for the first one. You put Jon Favreau in the director's seat. That gives Filoni enough time to develop season 2 of Ahsoka. It gives him enough time to direct it, because if you try to put everything on Filoni's back, and as far as him getting the position a couple of weeks ago, he's been in that position for 6 months, 7 months. They just officially announced it, a week ago, whatever it was. So it's too much for him. It's way too much responsibility for him, because if you give him those 2 movies, he directs that one and then it bombs, then you got to pull the other one off the shelf, and then you got to potentially scrap Ahsoka. You give it a Favreau and you say, dude, here it is, because the Rey movie can come out whenever. It's like, if you're gonna lead with Mandalorian and you add the firepower of Favreau with it, because right now it's like it's coming off of a subpar season 3. And if you lead with Favreau directing it, and then it's going to be kind of Grogu heavy, because that's what they're gonna. And I saw your show, and the only thing what I will push back on you, what you said when people said Grogu is going to be the marketing tool, and you said, well, inside the bubble is Grogu. That's not true. Grogu's merchandise is through the roof. Everybody calls him Baby Yoda or Grogu, whatever it is. That's probably what. Now, whether or not they should is another conversation. They're going to lead heavy on Grogu, because everyone's going to go Baby Yoda movie, Baby Yoda movie, Baby Yoda movie, and then your marketing starts to play.
Okay, fine. I guess you might be right there. No, I hear your logic in Favreau, although I think Filoni should do it. They're his characters, that he should be able to be in control of this. I don't know how much. And look, they have a great working relationship from all accounts. So maybe he's okay with handing over his creations to debut theatrically for the first time under Favreau's control. And there's a reason possibly that Favreau turned down Secret Wars, because the rumors were that he was offered Secret Wars and he turned it down. Is that maybe this has been in play for quite some time. Probably. The idea of doing Mando season 4 as a movie and having Favreau, because it's been a while since Favreau directed as well a theatrical film. So this could be a good way for him to kind of step up and do it. But I think Filoni should do it. They're his people. They're his characters. Let's see what you got, guy. Let's see what you got.
Dude, that's so much pressure to put on somebody right now to run another series, all the creative, a movie in 2026, and the first one out the gate. Like you said, they've probably been working this for a little bit. And Favreau's probably like, yeah, listen, I'll start you off and we'll add this. Because remember this also, he wrote the scripts. He wrote a lot of the scripts from it.
Very true.
So, written and directed by Jon Favreau carries a lot of weight.
But didn't he write the scripts for the third one, and that was kind of middling? So
he did, right? He did. But like now, and Filoni was not as involved in that season for sure. So it's like, so who knows now? Remember though, because of the role that Filoni does have, he's going to be very much working side by side with Favreau. So that will also. So as much as you're saying, what do you got, guy? Well, he's going to show you what he's got, and he's going to work with the guy he's been running the show with, and he will be more hands-on than he was in season 3. He'll be hands-on with Favreau in this movie, and because he knows it's going to lead into his ultimate. He's ending it. Favreau's essentially going to start the TV show, start the movie verse, and then Filoni gets to either spike it down or miss the freaking field goal.
So we saw this with the sequel trilogy, right? You bring in one person, direct one movie, then he goes away, and Rian Johnson did what he did. Then JJ came back and it fell apart. So I think it should be the same person directing all three.
No. But there's a big difference there, because in the same way that Marvel had a lot of different directors, but they had one person, at least for the first 3 phases, they had one person kind of connectively kind of moving the storyline and knowing where it's going to go. They didn't have that in Star Wars. In that trilogy, it's Kathleen Kennedy going, what movie you want to make? And you, what do you want to make? You want to make that? Oh, what do you want to make? Oh, okay, good. Oh, no, that doesn't work for us. You're fired. You, what do you want? Oh, you're fired too. The mess. There's nothing together. If Filoni is working with Favreau going, okay, John, you're going to start there and you're going to work through that. Okay, that's cool. And then we can work that. And he's the one doing this, though he's not directing it. That works. So very curious what you guys think. How is it going to pan out? Would Favreau do it? Do you think John's right? Should Filoni do it? Where do you stand? And do you even think that that's going to happen? Or do you think that they're going to lead with the Rey movie, considering they're already shooting in April? So what say you? I do see the super chats are coming in, so we're going to get to those in just a moment. We're going to start taking your questions now. But before I do, I am pumped because you've been watching my show long enough. We got Trade Coffee back. And I've been drinking Trade Coffee, dude. It was early Christmas present when I heard Trade Coffee was coming back. And I got Trade Coffee, and you know I've been talking about Green Chef forever. So I'm going to tell you both about Trade Coffee and Green Chef right now. If you're a coffee drinker, you know somebody who likes coffee, and you don't get them Trade, well, then you're not a good friend. All right, here it is. It is the holiday season, everybody. And what better way than to get the #1 meal kit for eating clean? That's Green Chef. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients with nothing artificial. You can choose from recipes featuring lean proteins like turkey and sockeye salmon. That's the best. Barramundi, tilapia, scallops, shrimp, certified organic whole fruits, vegetables, eggs, plenty of whole grain options. I love Green Chef. I use them all the time. You guys know I've been talking about Green Chef forever. And why? Because they're the best. You can eat clean the delicious way this December with flavor-packed recipes like buttery lemon garlic shrimp, harissa apricot chicken, maple butternut squash risotto, and sriracha tamari beef bowls. They have so many great things. I've told you guys my favorite things that I do now. I make like these quesadillas that I get from them all the time because I love their food. I love the stuff that they send, and they give you recipes. If you want to follow them, you can make your own stuff. It really is fantastic because with Green Chef, you're reducing your food waste by up to 23% versus grocery shopping. It's the best. It is the best. You do so much for not only yourself, for the environment in general, and you're eating clean. It's delish. You go to greenchef.com/60thing, and if you use the code 60thing, you're going to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. That's the best deal ever. greenchef.com/60thing. Use that code, man, 60thing, 60% off. How many times I got to say 60?
It really is the holiday season. I'm so excited. Finally, Trade is back. I love Trade. I love Trade Coffee. I've been using Trade Coffee forever, and I'm so glad that they're back. Why? They are absolutely incredible, and Trade Coffee can help you nail your holiday gift giving this year. Trust me, a subscription to Trade, it is the perfect gift for any coffee lover. You just choose how much to spend, and Trade is going to help your recipient personalize the coffee to their preference. Best of all, Trade's gift subscriptions cut out the worry around shipping deadlines as the digital subscription is delivered instantly to their inbox. Well, what is it? Trade is a subscription service that sources the best coffee across the country and brings it to your doorstep. They've built relationships with 55 plus local rosters so you can enjoy their craft from the comfort of your own home. I've been using them since we had them last time, and I continue to. This is the one that I use. This is the Flores Bellas blend. I love it. It gets me going in the morning, baby. I love Trade Coffee. You can hear how excited I am. I've been waiting. I've been wanting. I have Trade back to tell you guys about them. They're so amazing. They have any type of flavor. You want something, you want the dark coffee, you want something with a little bit more flavor. They got it all. So give the gift of better coffee at home. From now through December 25th, Trade is offering 15% off all gift subscriptions at drinktrade.com/bigthing. Shop now through Christmas Day to save. That's drinktrade.com/bigthing. 15% off all gift subscriptions through Christmas Day. drinktrade.com/bigthing. It will be the best Christmas present you can give this year. I told you. You guys remember when I told you about Trade? We were talking about Trade a lot. And Trade, when I had them the first time, there was 1 week where we didn't. I don't know what happened, but you guys were like, "Oh, well, you clicked past it or whatever it was." And then the next week, I told you how much I loved it, and you guys went and got them. And they were like, "Hey, you guys weren't even supposed to talk about us this week." And we had like this flow of people getting us, and I was like, "Come back." It was right before all this stuff happened with when we'd switched over from a different agency, and I'm so glad they're back. This is another reason why this agency is so good. They got Trade back, and I love that I have them. And man, Green Chef, both of them, great holiday gifts. So if you're able to, go check them out. Links in the description, and I'll put them as the pinned comment. All right, John. So John, you coffee guy?
Yeah, I just ordered a bunch of stuff.
Did you?
Lindley's a big. Lily Outlaw's a big coffee drinker, so we got some stuff from Trade just now.
Good.
So thank you for the suggestion, man.
Yeah, man, for sure. And make sure that, again, guys, one of the things before we get into the questions here too, John's been building up his channel, man. John's been really doing a lot of stuff over there. And as I mentioned with the hot mic, they break scoops all of the time. And him and Jeff have a really good rapport, the two of them. Jeff finally has a microphone, although I think he's just trying to figure out how to use it.
Yeah, that's the next step.
Yeah, it's the next step. So he's working on it. But check out John's channel. John, and what is it? Is when they want to find it, is it just John Rocha or is it the Outlaw Says?
Yeah, just type it's the John Rocha Says. That's kind of the name of the channel, but it's the Outlaw Nation. Just type in my name, the Outlaw Nation, and come over there. We just crossed 31,000 subscribers, trying to get to 50. So, I would love for y'all to come over. The Hot Mic we're going out 2 times a week for the month of December to kind of give more people access to it. The Geek Buddies is there, my trailer reactions, my reviews, and then stuff with the Jedi Way. Whenever there's big Star Wars news, Kevin Smets, Laura Kelly joining me to talk about it as well. So, and a lot more plans going into 2024 to do more things and bring more people over to hang out with us. And hopefully you'll have some time to pop by every once in a while. We've had you on Geek Buddies and loved it every single time. So come subscribe to the channel, please. We'd love to have you.
Go ahead and show John some support over there and head on over to his channel and click subscribe today. And another way, again, you guys have been supporting the channel the whole day here today by sending in these questions. And we'll be, and a lot of times when I'm doing these, as I say throughout the show, when you're putting them out there, even while I'm going through the questions now, if you put them out, we'll still answer them. We'll be here until there's none left. So we're going to start. Joey Henderson. Nicholas Hoult is a good actor, but how many times can you do Lex Luthor in a movie, for fuck's sake? I mean, I get it. I understand it. And I think that's why one of the reasons that James Gunn wanted to address that it's going to be different, and the other thing to always look, everybody is familiar with Lex Luthor, Superman inside of this. Remember that the new generation of people, the first time you ever saw Superman, when was it? Right? How old?
Yeah.
You did. Right. I did. There's other people who Brandon Routh was their first Superman.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Henry Cavill was their first Superman. This is going to be, to a lot of people, their first Superman or their first Lex Luthor in a way, but it is warranted that you do need to shift it up for people like us who've seen Lex a bunch of different times. But I think that's why you add Nicholas Holt's personality into it. So I don't mind. I think when you have Superman, you got to have Lex, but he's not the villain in this one too. Well, he is going to be a villain, but he's not the villain from what they say. Fucking Wasp in here. Get out of here. Come on. Bullshit. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's the thing people have to be aware of is like, you can't just see movie making through the prism of your upbringing and experience with movies. You have to understand there are multiple generations after you. They're going to see and experience it. That's the whole reason the prequel trilogy was appreciated, was because all those people who were kids when they saw it grew up and are now a very powerful and strong voice in the Star Wars community. So you got to be aware of this. And the other thing is this: people don't know who Brainiac is. We were just talking about Maxwell Lord. People outside the bubble don't know who the hell Brainiac is. So you've got to go with Lex Luthor, who everybody knows. Let them establish a fence post in the ground first with Superman Legacy, and then see where he goes next. Brainiac could be next. Any of the other,
but isn't Brainiac the villain in this one?
He might be. But you've got to have Lex to kind of
have him at least
massage the wheels a little bit. Yeah,
agreed. Mike Joyce, what's up, Mike? Sending in a super chat so Rocha won't yell at me.
It works.
How you do? I see you do that in your channel too. These poor people.
$2, Mike. $2, huh? Okay.
Leave them alone. It's Christmas. You spending 50 cents is fine. Tom Hanks just ordered First Leaf. Dude, First Leaf. So we don't have them on the show today, but good. I'm so glad that you did. Thank you. Do you know First Leaf, John?
No, talk to me about it. What is that?
Wine subscription. And it's like my favorite. It's one of my favorite things. It's like, so the reds that they've sent and all this. So First Leaf, that's a way to do it. Yeah, I've been getting really good peeps on the show lately, and I'm very, very grateful for it. I'm grateful for Tom Hanks for buying some of that stuff. Yeah. All right, here we go. Joey Henderson. A more interesting change would have been the Superman Earth 1 route with the husband and wife both named Lex. I'm not as familiar with that. Do you know that, John?
I'm not as familiar with that one either. I haven't read that one, but I guess it could be interesting. But again, you're taking stories that are people don't know that well. If Kristian and I don't know these stories, imagine how much people outside the bubble don't know these stories. So that's the thing. You want to lay the groundwork of things that people know first, and then go forward from there.
I think most of the times that's true, but I also think that there are times when you can, if you have a good story and it works, you can take the shot. I mean, look, Guardians of the Galaxy, not known characters.
Right. Not known.
Right. Not known. And, and so you took a shot with them. Now, they also had, at that point, 2014, they had whatever it was, 6 years or 5 years of successful movies to go, hey, we've got Marvel that's been hitting hitting out of the park right now. Try these guys out. So, but I do think if you, depending on who's writing, it all depends on the team that you have with it, right? It depends on the casting, but you're not wrong that you want to always go with the old faithful, especially when you're trying to get a win that DC needs, you know?
Look how Zach changed things, and people got so upset about Man of Steel because he
Right.
went with Zod and he went
Right.
with more darker edge, and
Superman killing Zod was like such a a bit of people losing their mind. Superman would never kill, and it's like change things up sometimes. All right, Wicked Art, the great Wicked Art.
Hey.
By the way, Capes and Cowls, the third issue is on the Patreon, and it is so good. So if you guys want to check it out, you want to go read what he's done. He's turned everybody, even Big Balls has a character. So go and check it out. Wicked Art. Hey, gentlemen, just drawing me some Omega Red today. Do you guys think that Ryan Reynolds is leaking these set photos? I hate anyone spoiling. This is my most anticipated. I don't think he's leaking this. You do, John?
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, obviously Deadpool was sprung from a leak video with Tim and Tim Miller and stuff, but like, no, I think him coming out against these things is playfully, I think is his way of saying, guys, please, this actually matters. Don't mess this up. And a lot of people feel it's the most, and it's the only Marvel movie coming out next year. So you don't want to
one that really counts.
If
this misses, they are in big trouble. They're in big trouble. This one has to hit. So the surprise is in the way. Remember, the Andrew Garfield Tobey Maguire thing was always rumored, but it wasn't really fully leaked until like 3 weeks before the movie came out.
Right.
So this is now, there's a lot of different surprises, and it's almost like one of these things where there's so many leaks that one of the things I could see them doing is what many people have done in the past, which I think would be a smart move, is start leaking false information. Start leaking for real. Start leaking that, someone, I don't know, that freaking who's Jennifer Lawrence is coming back as Mystique, and she's been seen on set, and start leak that, because the misinformation, if you put enough of it out there, then that would probably be able to stop it, because people aren't going to stop leaking stuff because they don't care about other people. They care about getting people to go to their site.
There's a 3.5-minute video out there, man.
I know. I know. That's what I'm saying. They don't care. So, but I don't think it was Ryan Reynolds, but I do think it would be smart to leak misinformation.
He's usually a step ahead. He should have leaked that stuff before the leaks happened. So as a way of kind of countering it before it happened. Yeah.
Again, thank you, Wicked Art, for that donation. MPQ Animations. Hi, I was wondering if you've heard of the Korean superhero show Moving on Disney Hulu. I have not. I loved it, and I thought it was a nice change for the other comic shows out there. It got great reviews. Thanks. I have not heard of it. It's called Moving on Disney. No, have you heard of this one, Sean?
Not at all. No. That's one to add now
on Disney. So no, I always like I mean, like it's the stuff outside of the Marvel and DC stuff that's really hitting right now, right? Like, did you watch? I forget. Did you watch Gen V?
I haven't started Gen V yet, but I've finished Invincible. I thought season 2 was great, so I got to jump on Gen V. That's next for sure.
Yeah, both of those series are doing really well outside of the Marvel DC realm, and I think that's what people are excited about. So I'd be curious to hear that.
Interesting.
All right, Talabarless. 3 Doctor Who specials on Disney Plus, worth checking. Serves as an entry point for new people before the new season begins. You won't regret it. Okay, so it's funny, you answered. Then the second half of that question, you pretty much answered my response, which I didn't. I was going to say, well, I don't know anything about Doctor Who. I've never watched it. I know people always tell me I would love it because of the time travel aspect and all that, but I just feel like it's so overwhelming.
Yeah.
I don't know. This serves, I guess the new specials serves as an entry point. I don't know if I can invest that much time in it, because it's a lot, right?
Yeah, it depends on the approach they're going with this, of course. I became a Doctor Who fan through Capaldi, so that was my Doctor Who. Other people, Matt Tennant, other people, or David Tennant rather, Matt Smith and whatever. So having David Tennant come back with Catherine Tate is interesting. I haven't watched them yet. I know our friends at Late to the Party are doing reactions to them, but I want to watch them. And Michael Vogel from the Geek Buddies, he has never watched any Doctor Who, but he wants to get into it. Yeah, so I think maybe watching these specials and then us talking about it, I think would be a great way to kind of figure out if it's an entry point for anyone who has never watched them and see what the reaction is. But
I'd be curious. I'd be curious here. Yes, I'm sure that I would love it. It's just intimidated by it.
It's a lot. It's a lot of seasons, bro.
A lot. It's a lot. We're taking your super chat questions, guys. So fire them in. I see more of them coming in. So thank you again. Tyler Barless. Reactions to the Doctor Who specials and see how they do. I just did I just did a reaction or so a comment rather. My House of the Dragon finale one, which did okay, right? So and somebody was like, you should react to more stuff. I'm like, every time I try to do like actual footage reactions, they don't really do that well on this channel. Like Brett and I did Elemental and did like 15,000 or whatever it was. And it's like I'm gonna still try them here and there, but people seem to like the reviews more. And I don't know if that's just because of the brand that I built, but it's but I mean I guess I should still, I don't know. I may try it. I don't know yet.
The reactions are time consuming too, Kristian, right? I mean, you gotta watch them and then you gotta edit out certain parts, and it's a lot of work, man.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, you got to be able to, and if you're putting, and even for me, I'm lucky that for my reactions now, I have people that I can edit it, but it's like, but that's still money and time you're putting in there. If they don't do well, to be able to pay for the editor, it's like, is it worth it?
That's what I had with my Ahsoka. I paid like, it was a couple hundred for one edit, and the thing only got 1,500 views, and I'm like, I can't validate that much for a reaction. And then of course those next 3 episodes blow the fuck up, and I was like, god damn it. So it's a crapshoot, man, this game.
I know it is. All right, continuing on. Justin Square, thank you guys, thank you so much, Justin, very kind of you. Hey, Kristian and Rocha, happy Monday. Kristian, can you give a rant on Jubilee Zoo as Professor Crow? Oh my god, I just haven't done it, Justin. I haven't done it in so long that I can't even. It's like, yeah, I mean, ask me something else. I can't. That takes out a lot, man. It takes out a lot. I can say that. And also the fact that I don't know if I haven't just done Professor Crow in probably 3 years. But do you remember Professor Crow?
Of course I do. And I was like, I was ready, but then you said no. But
it's hard for me. It's hard for me to do. But it's like, but again, I wish Justin would ask a question too, so I'd feel bad because he put it in such an explanation. It's just it kills my throat too. But that whole thing came from this professor I had at St. Petersburg Junior College.
Oh wow.
And, yeah, and I kept bringing up the crow. Don't mention the damn crow anymore. Just scream at me. But she was like, I don't listen to those Zambazoobies. What? A lion with painting bullshit? The fuck? It's the best I can do. But it's great. Thank you, Justin. Very, very kind of you.
Thank you,
nonetheless. Professor Crow. Haven't heard of that old bat in a while. Mike Joyce, what does Rocha think of UAPs? You been paying attention to it?
What are UAPs? Is it unidentified alien projects?
Aerial phenomenon, my friend.
Oh, no. Listen, I believe in UFOs. I believe in aliens. I am a big fan of that stuff. And I've watched specials for many, many years about it. I have a couple of friends being in the military who experienced it on a mission. And so when Kristian told me to watch the Disney one, the National Geographic, I'm halfway through that one. So yes, I believe in them and think they do exist. Now, do I think
Schumer? Did you see all the stuff with Chuck Schumer?
Tell me, yeah, a little bit.
Schumer. So we're going to cover this. We shot today's episode with Riley and Attack Peter. It'll be up tomorrow morning. But Chuck Schumer had put together a bill that essentially was full disclosure on anything, whether it's yes or no, or whatever we might have, whether it's extraterrestrial, not other government, whatever it is. It's essentially would subpoena these outside, because a lot of these companies, like they're outside funded, these lobbyists, so they're funding these programs. They're not government that's been funding the potential retrieval programs. So Chuck Schumer is like, this inside of the defense bill that they do every year. What we're going to do is we're going to put this amendment in there that will give us the subpoenas, will give us all this. And it was a bipartisan thing that then David Grush came and testified that helped with all the information that he had. And then it was such a bipartisan thing. AOC and Matt Gaetz were on the same page, and everybody, and it was going great. And then out of nowhere, it's Republican from Ohio, Mike Turner, and there's another guy, Mike Turner, who is very tight in bed with the defense programs and everything too, blocked it, and basically took out some of the major things. And Schumer had this whole thing. That's why, and the major news organizations were not covering it.
Yeah,
it was like News Nation and The Hill and other things too. And CNN just covered it over the weekend. It was the first time. But there's more going on that if it was in your, because you follow the news, you follow politics. If it was in your programs more and you saw these things, I know you take it more seriously because you like the mainstream's covering it and there's more of these things here. You just don't know about it. So
no. But but whenever stuff pops up, as you said, on my feed, I always read about it because and anything that is is blocking transparency on an issue like this
Right.
is a problem. Is a
Right.
problem because what are you hiding, for God's sake?
That's the whole point.
Yeah,
If there's nothing to hide,
Yeah.
and you want to shut up idiots like me, okay, dummy, you think there's something in the sky? Okay, we'll approve the bill. Go ahead, go find what you're going to find. But they're not. They're blocking it. What? So why are they blocking it?
Yeah, I agree.
But we talk about that in depth tomorrow on the show. Ronetta W. Hey guys, love both your shows. Been a fan since the AMC days. Thank you. Wanted to know if you've seen Blue Eyed Samurai on Netflix. No, I hear great things. Rocha, this show was made for you. Also, saw Beyonce's concert movie and Godzilla -1 this past weekend. Both were on fire. AF movie next. Which one's that? What's AF movie?
I don't know. On fire as fuck movie next. Maybe saying something else. I don't know.
Okay, but either way, so we got Godzilla -1, and Beyonce. I heard the Beyonce movie was pretty fantastic as well. Yeah. But the Blue Eyed Samurai on Netflix, I heard great things about it. So that's good. First of all, thank you so much for that very, very, very kind super chat, by the way. I
took Renetta off my list now.
Oh, she was on your list?
Yeah, well, she donated highly, so I'm gonna
okay. So there you go. We should check that out for sure, but it seems like it'd be up your alley. You can check it out.
Yeah, I put it on the I put it on my queue this weekend to see it. But they're hour-long episodes. They're not short episodes, so it's a commitment, Blue Eyed Samurai. So, yeah,
if it's a you get me in that first episode. Look at like One Piece. Did you wind up watching One Piece?
Not yet, no, but I saw your reaction videos did really well, man.
Love that show. I love that show. And I was only going to do one.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, I really dig this show. And it got me with the lore. It got me with the characters. It was so, I don't care how long it is, as long as it's good.
Yeah.
Simon Section. My 2 ships passing in the Tallahassee River here.
Wow.
Love Godzilla -1. As an honorably discharged boot camp person, I too am struggling with my own personal war. Also, I've lost my glasses. Well, if you gotta find your glasses, you got to get these. This is it.
Yeah, I want to link to those when we get off air because I need those.
So good. I saw my buddy Andrew Freed, who's been on this show a few times. I went to dinner with him like 2 weeks ago, and I know him so well. I stopped. I would go to his house, and it was dark out, and I'm walking, and he starts walking towards me. I go, "Stay right there." Turn the lights on, and I go, "You love these?" He goes, "I love those." So good. All right, thank you, Simon, for that. I really appreciate that. And find your glasses, man. And yeah, Tallahassee. We're both realize how much the ESPN hates us.
Oh my God. And Kirk Herbstreit. Screw that guy.
Yes. John Lee, like Godzilla -1, but it won't get nominated at Oscars as Japan didn't submit it to represent their country. They selected another movie. That's interesting. Oh, wow. Okay, well, good to know. Well, then that sucks.
Yeah, that does suck. That is how it works.
Yeah, I know. That sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know why they wouldn't submit that. I didn't realize how much people love that movie. Probably a mistake. Cody Spencer, with the rise in quality of video game adaptations in The Last of Us, Super Mario, what would be your best prediction for how many years until a video game adaptation wins Best Picture? I don't know, man. It's like, we still haven't had a comic book movie that's won Best Picture. Well, I guess No, did any of the?
No,
it didn't. Have they ever had a comic book movie that's won Best Picture? I don't know.
Not that I can recall. No,
I don't know if that'll ever happen.
Yeah,
to be honest, because I just don't think that people, like I said, even with the Godzilla thing, I think it's a stigma. No matter how good it was, they're just not gonna, like what was. Are you part of? Is it the one that you're part of? Are you part of the LA Film Critics? Is that what
no. I'm part of the HCA.
Okay.
Creative Alliance.
There's some of the LA Film Critics now that won some movie won that I didn't even hear this. What was the movie that won?
Oh, I didn't even see. I just noticed that they put Lily Gladstone in the Best Supporting Actress category, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
I don't know what this movie was that won, and maybe it's good. I don't know, but like over Oppenheimer and over these,
Zone of Interest. Is that the one you were talking?
Yeah, is it any good?
Zone of Interest is good, but here's the deal, man. I mean, it's a small film, but it's about the Nazis again, and it's about concentrating.
Right.
I've seen a lot of films like this.
Right.
There was nothing about it that separated it. So,
well, this is what I talk to you about this every year. The Oscars for the actual broadcast, worthless. It's worthless, and it should not be on network television anymore. It should be picked up by a streaming service. It should be picked up somewhere else, and people should tune it. That is how you will get streaming service more popular, because the movies that are nominated and what they're trying to do, the regular audience does not know what these movies are.
Yeah.
You and I have both raved about American Fiction, one of the best movies of the year. 9 out of 10 people regular people that are watching movies don't know what the hell that movie is.
Yeah.
And they're not going to tune in to the Oscars to see if it wins or not.
Right.
They're not going to tune in for poor things. They're not going to tune in any of this stuff. They're not going to the audience that you're trying to get to watch this stuff. These awards are made for film people.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's not a big enough audience to continue to put it on, network television every year. It is a colossal waste of money.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I joked about it last week on Twitter. I was like, at some point, you all got to realize that The Boy Who Slept with a Cow and Found the Moon is not going to win a lot of. It's not going to get people into the theaters. Not going to get people to watch your programs. It doesn't make any sense. You've got to have a balance.
You got to have a balance because it's like that's why Top Gun got nominated, which was everybody knew it wasn't going to win. But the fact that like that outside shot, I remember people talking about like the outside shot because the idea that you want people to actually watch to see if it's going to happen because it's going to be some pretentious thing again that people and it's going to be what it happens every year. This year's Oscars, one of the lowest rated Oscars in all time, and it's like because you're not trying to get the casual audience.
Yeah,
it's so stupid. All right, here's another one here. Simon Section, another one. Thank you, dude. Very, very kind of you. Have you heard of Valdosta State University? No, it was mad famous when TMZ covered a story when Playboy model got arrested there for protesting. It's an hour away, a bit away from Tallahassee on the weekends. That's a fun time. No, I haven't. Did you know that one?
No, I mean, I think I've heard the name, but I don't remember that story at all. So
for me, I would go, when you were at Florida State, did you go to New Orleans a lot?
No, I've never been to New Orleans.
Really? Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I used to go when I was at Florida State. I went to New Orleans, went to Mardi Gras 3 times. And then we went there for my buddy and I took dates there for like a weekend. And it was, I think a total like 5 or 6 times while I was Tallahassee.
Yeah.
Loved
You and I ran in different circles though, man.
We did, but you were one of the few people at the theater school that I actually talked to. You and Vogel and a few other people. And I'd stand up and promote my stand-up comedy. You were the only one guys would be like, where is it? The fluty snooties running around that joint. All right, let's see. Next one.
The zone of interest people. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. JW Bassman, 22001. The Great First Rate Nate. I think it has to be directed by Favreau or Bryce Dallas Howard. Bryce Dallas Howard is a good choice.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice.
It's a good choice. The thing is that the only reason I'd still say Favreau is only because of the launch of it all. And she still has not done a feature film yet. So it's a big feature film to jump into, and she's doing Skeleton Crew and other things. But I wouldn't be opposed to it. I think it makes more sense in the chain of where you're going to go is to go Favreau, Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
Okay. Simon Section. Any chance of John Rocha's show will have a new entrance theme like the Hot Mic because that's badass? John Rocha show.
Yeah, I'm changing. Obviously, Kristian and I have talked about this for a long time, and Kristian's one of the people that's kind of, instigated or motivated the change. We're moving away from the Outlaw Nation, and so it's going to be something else. And there'll be new themes, new music, new whatever for my channel for sure down the road. So yeah, we'll have a new entrance or new music for the channel overall for sure. But I've enjoyed what it is. But it is time to move on from the Outlaw stuff. The Schmodown ain't coming back. The Outlaw was great. But it's about me now making a name, putting my stuff out there. And so, but I always will be grateful for Kristian, for the Outlaw, and for the Schmodown, and everybody who watched. It was awesome.
It's always evolving, right? Everything's always evolving. So thank you for that question as well, too.
Thanks.
Randy Avenue. For the Oscars and Godzilla -1, can a country have more than one submission? Now, would Japan also have The Boy and the Ironic? There you go. In contention, I could also see Miyazaki getting Oscar love. Thanks, gents. Yeah, that's probably what it is. So I guess I take back because I think that from what I hear, did you see The Boy and the Heron yet?
Not yet. No, it did well box office wise over the weekend.
Yeah, it did well this weekend. Yeah. So well, good. I'm glad. No, but no, I think that makes sense. Why they would submit that one? I think that makes sense. But but the ones animated and ones piece. It's crazy that they can't submit both if it's different categories.
I think you can. I think the Academy chooses the animated stuff, and I think the foreign thing is only
okay. So something else.
Yeah, he said I don't think they're going to submit Boy and the Heron because their submission. I think they're going to let that be for live action stuff, and they know the Academy is going to nominate Boy and the Heron for the animated film. Yeah.
All right, Jacob Wolf, Apes and Furiosa opening same day. Will one move? I think that one should. That's the same audience. That's the same audience. Right. I think one should move. If I was going to move one, I'd move Furiosa out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd move Furiosa out of there. Granted, Mad Max, Mad Max very loved. George Miller, very loved.
Yeah.
You don't got Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy in this one,
Right.
you know, and it does look a little bit more CGI than the last. I think that it was half and half. I really enjoyed the trailer, but I think it was half reception. And Apes is pretty damn popular. Looks pretty much the same. Continued on from the trilogy that Andy Serkis, made famous. So I would move Furiosa out of the way.
You might not be wrong because I've got a couple of sources and they're hearing that this has been getting the Apes movie has been getting marks off the board, like just
Good
people are
reviews.
reviews.
Ooh, good. I love
The
that.
scores. People are crazy excited in the
Great.
studio for
Great.
this movie and how it's going to do.
Great.
So Furiosa, and look, it's not like Mad Max Fury Road blew up at the box office. Mad Max movies don't do well, greatly well at the box office. So the last thing you want to do is put it up against something that may be a juggernaut at the box office.
Right.
And you're right, Kristian. This isn't Barbenheimer. These are
Right.
two same audience type movies, and that could hurt.
Audience. This is exactly. You have a different, because the crossover is like, when you have a movie like Barbie that was so Oppenheimer saw the basically, I guess, pun not intended, the fallout of the of like the box office. Like if everything was packed up at Barbie, they'd be like, well, there's this Oppenheimer movie. It's a different vibe. We got to change our vibe. Let's go see it. And it definitely benefited, and then vice versa. So, anyway, so I think they got to move that one out of the way. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Was that the one that we just did? Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, that was one we just did. Okay. Sorry. I'm just going through these. All right. Next one. And I think we just have a couple more left.
Okay.
Joey Henderson, Superman Earth 1 comic series is quite good. Man of Steel even borrowed a lot from Volume 1. It's great. I love always hearing those recommendations from it, because like I said, that's why I do Capes and Cowls, because I'm not as caught up on it as everybody else is. But I always love hearing from the audience to say, like, oh, that might have been the last one. Oh, no, that's not the last one. This might be the last one. The Raven Effect. Hi, Kristian and John. What are your expectations for the Fallout TV show coming next year? With all the games lore available to the writers, the show has the potential to be better than Last of Us. This is one of the most anticipated shows. It's a beloved video game. I'd never played the game itself, but I know how much people loved it. I remember Dennis Zen always talking about it. And so, yes, it absolutely has the potential to do it, and in more ways than one. And I don't want to say things that could potentially spoil Last of Us, because I'm very curious how they're going to do Last of Us Season 2. Very curious how they're going to do that. And for Fallout, I'm probably going to approach Fallout the same way I did Last of Us, because I had Last of Us sitting on my shelf for years, and I started playing Last of Us and watching the show at the same time. And I'll probably do the same thing for Season 2, and I'll probably do the same thing for Fallout.
Yeah. I mean, this looks great. It's got a good, strong cast. Not too well known, but certainly well known enough to get you through the door. And Walt Goggins coming in as a cowboy, all of that. Like Kristian, I haven't played the game, but certainly the level of response to that game is massive. And so I think if they get this one right, it's going to be big. And the audience is there, as we saw with Last of Us.
Yeah.
The audience is there if you get it right. And I think
if you do it right. Well, because that's what Last of Us did so well. Of course, they added new things, but for the most part, the game is very much, the TV show is very much like the game.
Yeah.
And there's this fear that they had for so many years of, well, they've already played the game, so now we got to change it. No, they want to see it adapted into a thing, but give your own spin to it, change some things up. It's why I still, not to get into a whole conversation about Star Wars again, but I think it is absolutely lunacy and almost idiocy that they haven't adapted any of their really great books that they have.
Yeah.
These books with these amazing stories that they can turn into 8-episode epic shows or movies, and they haven't even touched them and keeping them exactly the same. Or Knights of the Republic doing the story. So I think it's a mistake when you try to go too far. Well, they played it already. They read it already. They know it. Well, Game of Thrones didn't feel that way about the Red Wedding, and that worked out pretty well.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think that show's going to do pretty well. All right, Ronetta. AF was the American Fiction movie. There you go. Can't wait to see it. It looks hilarious. Thanks, Rocha, for taking me off the list. Blue Head Samurai is a commitment, but well worth it. Yeah. So, American Fiction, you're gonna love. It is absolutely one of my favorite movies for show. I didn't say that on purpose. Did we do this one? Oh, we did that one already. Okay, I think that might be the last one, John. Let me double
Got a
check.
couple more that I can see.
Do we? Let me see.
Yeah.
All right, maybe I'm wrong. Oh, no, you're right. I'm wrong.
Mhm.
Okay. PLD. I know PLD. I never thought I'd see the day that Kristian and Rocha are on a show together, and it's Kristian who looks like the old man with those light glasses. Watch your mouth. This is not old man glasses. This is smart scientist.
Look at that. Yeah.
Dude, look how bright this one is. It's
I'm-
like it's
I'm following you in a zombie apocalypse if you've got those on, man.
I lit up my whole backyard, dude. It's the best. It is the best. How dare you, PLD?
Yeah.
Dom, what's up, Dom?
Oh, Dom.
Is the -1 part of the wait, is the -1 part of the title a transition thing? Is it supposed to be like after loss, represented in multiple ways, the war of the people? I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it's exactly what it is. And it's like and what I don't want to spoil anything, but I think that I wonder if they're going to continue on because I would, if they were like, we're not going to make any more Kong and Godzilla movies, but we're going to do 5 of these by the same director. I'm on board.
Yeah.
And that director wants to do a Star Wars movie. Sign him up yesterday.
God.
You know what I mean? He wants to do Star Wars. Sign him up.
What if you did the twins from the anime Star Wars Visions, but that live action? That would be awesome.
Let's never do it. That's one of the problems with Filoni being in charge. I've said that already. I think he's going to stick too much into George philosophies and things. We're not going to get a lot of things that could be cooler.
I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you feel the same way. I was worried about it, man. Yeah.
I made like a big thing about it, and people, it might, not to get into the whole thing again, but I talked about I do not believe he's a fan of Andor. And I was like, and I said, give me some examples where he's really kind of gone out and talked in depth about like Andor and how great it was, like the way he's done about other shows. People like saying, like 70 people were like, yeah, look, Star Wars Celebration, talks about it for like 1 second. Says, oh, it's got this empire. I've never seen the empire portrayed this way. And Tony did a great idea. And he moves to the next thing. It's like, it doesn't mean that he's a fan of it. He doesn't, I don't think he is. Right. And I just think that there's certain things that he's going to do in his world and that he does very well. And I said that, and I listed, there's a lot of positives and there's a lot of negatives with him being in that position. I think we do have a couple more, actually. Hold on. That one was from Dom, and I think this is the last one.
What's up, Dom? How you doing, Dom?
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hi there. Been a while. You said something stupid on Twitter the other day about blue cheese. I love blue cheese, motherfucker. No,
Jake. Oh,
Jake.
what did he say?
He said that if you have ever dipped anything in blue cheese, he said he like equated it to licking like a dirty asshole or something like that. Dude, wings on blue cheese is the way to go.
Blue cheese crumble in a salad is fantastic.
You uncivilized swine, you.
Yeah, what the hell?
But thank you for the super chat.
Well, it's Carolina cuisine. I mean, there's not a lot of Carolina cuisine, right? I mean, just no offense, Jake. But,
no offense. No offense. Anyway, John, we did it. We made it work. So, like I said, John and I are going to try to do this as much as possible. When he's available on Mondays, he's going to pop in. So leave your comments, go support John over at his channel.
Please.
If you are, again, well, John, why don't you give more plug to where people can find
Oh, yeah. Just go to YouTube, youtube.com/John Rocha says, come and subscribe. I would love to have you all aboard the channel, and maybe you all can, kind of dictate some of the stuff you want to see on my channel. So come on over and be a part of it and subscribe. And you've got Jeff Snyder, you've got the Geek Buddies there with Vogel and Shannon, you've got Jedi Way, a number of things, and more plans to do more stuff coming here in the new year. So please come aboard and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to book my podcasts, the Geek Buddies, the Hot Mic, and of course the Cinephiles, which I do with my director friend Steve Morris from Los Angeles, we average about 250,000 downloads a month. So it's certainly a very popular and successful podcast. So come and take a chance on that as well. So there you go.
All right. Thank you to John for being on the show here today. And
Thanks, Kristian.
Of course, thank you guys for being here once again. And make sure, as I said, subscribe to this channel. Help us get to 200,000. We have been so lucky, and I'm so grateful for everybody who's joining us on this road. To get us there that quick would be amazing. We have the UAP show on tomorrow with myself, Riley, and Attack Peter. Wednesday, we got Steph and Mike, I'm pretty sure. Thursday, got Roxy and Brett. And Friday, got Capes and Cows coming back. So, well, before we even go anywhere else, whoop, there it is. Steve threw up. Well, thank you, Steve. Thank you guys for joining us here again. I'm very happy they did Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. Appreciate you very much. So we'll see you on the flip side.